I hope you all are very excited for this webinar on advanced Excel using ChatGPT. I will welcome all of you to this exciting webinar on advanced Excel using ChatGPT. During this webinar, we are going to cover automating tasks using ChatGPT. So I will show you some of the examples how you can streamline your repetitive tasks and save your time, and that time can be invested in more important tasks. Other than this, we are also going to see how you can enhance your data analysis, how you can create visuals, how you can format the visuals by taking help of ChatGPT, and you can complete your task in a flick of your eye. Also, you can boost your productivity by using ChatGPT or AI tools that can be integrated with the Excel, and it will be helpful to you. And we'll also see some of the practical applications of ChatGPT in Excel. So this is what content we are going to cover in this webinar. Now let us see what is automating tasks. So we often listen that I want to automate my task, and we also think to automate the tasks which help you to get more productivity. So let us understand first what is automating task. So whenever we want to automating our task, that means we are using a technology to perform our routine tasks. For that, we do not require any kind of human intervention to perform the repetitive tasks, and the technology repeats that task time to time with that specific accuracy and the rules which we have defined. That is basically the automating the task. So basically, when we want to automate the task, we focus on the more important task or the work which are taking a more time, which is a very repetitive task in our day-to-day exercise. We are working on that, and we can automate that task, which can reduce our errors and also help us to improve our efficiency and productivity, and which saves our time so we can focus on our important or task which can be help us to grow our business, grow our career and all. When you want to automate your tasks, there are a different, you can say the various benefits of automating your tasks. By automating your tasks, you can save your time. We can also have a error reduction in our data. So let's say we are working on some data on a day-to-day basis where we have a lots of human touch points and intervention. So there will be a much chances of having an error for the data cleaning or creating reports and having any of the tasks. So by automating that, we can have a reduction in the errors. We we developed a consistency by automating the tasks. So when we are automating the tasks, we define all the rules and regulations, all the flows. We define what type of actual output we want, and as it is getting executed by the Excel or AI tool, there will be a consistency in your output. Other than this, it will increase your productivity. So as your task will be performed very quickly in a flick of your eye, so obviously it will help you to increase your productivity. Other than this, it is a cost effective solutions. Like AI tool give you a many ways to complete your task or automate your task. So and you do not require to handsome amount to be spent to automate the task. Again, scalability. So you can use this AI tools to automate your tasks from small data to a larger data. So the scalability which you can use by using this AI tool, that is a very useful in your day-to-day life. Other than this, you can have a data integrity by using the AI tools, and by automating tasks, you have a limited human intervention in your data, which will again reduce the touch point of human in your data, the data which you can automate by using a different AI tool like ChatGPT. Now, whenever you want to automate your tasks, you should follow some roadmap or a process which will help you to optimize that automation, to sustain that automation. So let us see how you can automate your tasks and what will be the roadmap to automate the task. So whenever you want to automate your task, the first step which you need to perform is identify the number of tasks which you want to automate or which you think that you should automate. List down all the tasks in your note, and then you try to map each and every steps of that process or a task, so you can have an idea of how you can automate the task. Once you map all the steps or processes which you want to automate, then you define what exactly output you want to achieve by that automating the task. Once you are clear with your goal, design a flow how you are going to automate that, when that automation will execute. So you define each and every parameter of automating the task, then define the rule in the sense you define when that automation will run, how it will be run. In a situation when there is a error, what will be the response from that automation. So you will define all the rules and regulations before automating your task. Once you done with all these things, execute your AI tool to test and take a trials of automation. If you are getting any kind of error, you have to improve over the flow. So you have to repeat the same task of designing the workflow, designing the rules and definitions, and again take a trial and test this. Once you are satisfied with the output, implement it with your data within one of the process. Once it is okay, you roll out your automation, keep monitoring how it is working, whether it is generating any kind of error or not on a time to time basis. Based on the monitoring, you keep taking reviews and feedbacks from the user, so you can have a better idea what further you can automate or how you can optimize your automation. So this is basically the cycle of automating tasks. Once you reach to the review and feedback, you will have an idea what further you can go for the automation. Again, you have to define your task which you want to again automate or optimize, and follow the same process over a period of time, which will help you to strengthen your task which you are automating. Now, let's say you want to automate your task in Excel. So you might have a different options available to automate your task. Like you might aware about Excel macros, which help you to record the macros and repeat that task on a single click. Another way is a Power Query editor. So it is again like a facility from Microsoft by which you can automate your task. Microsoft Flow, which is like you can say the recently in the past few years, it has a very good impact in the industry, and industries are using Microsoft Flow to automate their tasks. Other than this, there are a different add-ins available in the market by which you can automate your tasks, like ASAP utilities, which can be added to the Excel as an add-on, and you can utilize or manage your tasks. The new, you can say, the tool which is launched by Microsoft is Office Script, which is available in Microsoft 365 right now. It is again a extended version of Excel macro, so by which also you can automate your tasks. And again, Python, which can be directly connected to the Excel and you can automate your tasks. But by all this way, if you want to automate your tasks, you need to have a special skill. Without knowing Excel macro or coding, you cannot do your tasks on an automate mode. Of course, you can record the macro for a simple task, but if there is any complex task, direct recording of macro cannot help. For that, you need to learn a macro, which is again a very complex, you can say, the coding language. Again, Office script and Python, you need a special skill. So now, again, you want to automate your tasks. So what is the option available with you? So now we have a AI tool called ChatGPT, which can be integrated with Excel. We can take a help of ChatGPT to automate our task. Plus, it is not limited to automate the task using ChatGPT. We can also have our problem solved with a ChatGPT as well. Now, as we are talking about the ChatGPT, let us have a quick tour to the ChatGPT and then we will move to the Excel and ChatGPT screen and we will perform some of the examples of how we can utilize ChatGPT in Excel. So now when we talk about the ChatGPT, so ChatGPT is basically an AI tool which gives us or understand our inputs and resulted into the text based, you can say, the output. It suggests some output, it give you the result, it give output and explain your output as well. So this ChatGPT is a very powerful tool. So if you ask ChatGPT to explain something, so it will give you a very brief description about the topic you are asking for. Even if you are asking any formula to ChatGPT, ChatGPT will give you the formula along with the description how it is to be implemented in the Excel. It is also giving us a description of each and every argument of Excel or a Power BI formulas or any other content. So it is a very powerful tool. How ChatGPT works? ChatGPT काम कैसे करता है? So to work with the ChatGPT, we have to provide some inputs, which is basically termed as a prompt. So we have to explain ChatGPT what we want to get output from it. ChatGPT will understand our requirement and will result whatever we are looking for. And it is more important to provide a very specific input if you want a very specific output. Otherwise, ChatGPT will give you a generic output which is belongs to that particular topic. We are going to see how you are supposed to give the prompt or inputs to the ChatGPT so you can have a better output. So now let's jump into the ChatGPT and we will execute some of the examples using ChatGPT and Excel. So first example, let's say I want to generate some content from ChatGPT and my requirement is I want to generate a table in which I should have information that different charts available in the Excel, what is the purpose of use of that particular graphs, and typically on which axis what type of data should be on the graph. So let me ask ChatGPT for that and let's see what ChatGPT gives us the answer. So I'm just closing this presentation and moving to the ChatGPT screen. So to open the ChatGPT, you have to browse any of the browser. You can use ChatGPT on Google Chrome or a Microsoft Edge. Go to the URL search bar, type ChatGPT. It will open a URL called chatgpt.com. You may see the screen. Try ChatGPT if you are not logged in into the ChatGPT environment. If you click on the try ChatGPT, it will ask you to the sign in. Just sign in with your credential, and at the end you will be able to see this screen. Let me just give you a small overview of ChatGPT screen, and then we will put a prompt into that. So on the left hand side of the screen, you will see all the prompt which you are providing to the ChatGPT are stored on the left hand side. On the right hand side, we have one field where we can type our prompts or inputs. And as you just click on enter, ChatGPT will give you an answer on that. Along with that, ChatGPT gives some of the ready-made, you can say, the prompt available. So you can click on that and ChatGPT will give you a respective output to this. Currently, we have two different versions of ChatGPT available. One is 3.5 and another is 4.0. If you have, if you do not have a subscription of ChatGPT, by using a ChatGPT 4.0, you can have a limited access to the content. In a 3.5, you can have, like, you can ask as many prompt as you want by using ChatGPT 3.5. Now let me just paste a prompt to get a list of graph in a Excel, its purpose and typical data on X and Y axis. So for that, I'm just copy my prompt. So the prompt is provide a table listing the default visuals available in Microsoft Excel, their purpose of use, when to use them, and typical inputs for the x-axis and y-axis. Provide me output in a table format which I can copy in Excel. So let me just copy this. I move to the chat GPT screen. In this window, I'm just pasting this. Now you can see I'm giving a very specific input to the chat GPT. Right? So because I want a very specific output, and at the end, I have also defined that please give a output in a table format which I can copy in the Excel. If I am not mentioning this, let us try what ChatGPT is result into. So I'm just providing this input. Let me just click on enter. So you can see Excel is providing me a output something like this. As earlier I have given the same prompt to the ChatGPT. ChatGPT is providing me a output in a specific table format. You can just copy this. So select entire view, whatever the content you want to copy. Control C, open your Excel workbook. So I'm opening my Excel workbook. And just paste that input, and you will have a tabular information available in Excel. Now you can just format the data however you want to format it, and the data is ready to use. Even if you are on a 4.0, you can ask ChatGPT that provide me the CSV file for the same. So it will give you a link to download the CSV file for the same. Let's say I already have a prompt available, so I can just give you an idea how it will result into the. So let me just ask, provide me with a CSV file to download. I just click enter. It will take some time to convert this data into the CSV format, and it will give me a one link by which I can download this. So let us just wait for 5 or 10 seconds and ChatGPT will result with a link. Now it has generated a link to me. You can download the CSV file with the details of default visuals available in Microsoft Excel from below link. Let me just click on this and the file is downloaded. I just open the file and you can see I have a file with all four columns: visuals, purpose, when to use, x-axis and y-axis. This is how you can generate a content by using a chat GPT and providing a ideal prompt to them. Now let us move to the next example. Let's say I have a data which I'm getting, like I'm downloading for my server or a website on a daily basis. Now there are so many errors in the data, and I'm spending a much of time, let's say 4 or 5 hours on cleaning the data to make it usable for the further purpose. Now let us see how we can use a chat GPT to make it faster. So first let us see to clean the data how we can use chat GPT to create the formulas. Many time it happens that we work manually to clean the data or change any inputs which is not desirable in our data. So let me open another file for the data cleaning purpose. So many time it happens, and you will be agree with me that let's say I have a data something like this which has let's say typing errors and something. So to correct that, what we do, we go to the cell, we correct the input. So for example, I have one input on the row number 16 where I have an extra space available before the content. I have a capital letter here which I want as a lower case. So I manually go to the cell, I just change this and I keep do the same thing again and again. As I do not know the formula or the way how it can be automated, we keep using it manually and it takes a lot of time of us. Now let us see how we can generate a formulas for this. So let's say I have a data of name where I have a unwanted spaces available in my data. Now I want to remove all unwanted spaces from my data. So let us create a prompt. So I just copy that prompt to the chat GPT. So this is the sample data which I show in the Excel sheet. So what prompt I'm going to give to the chat GPT? That is, I have a data in Excel sheet having column ID, like columns like ID, name, email, and address starting from column A respectively. I feel some data cleaning is required. Give me a way to clean the data in Excel. Now I have specifically mentioned that I want in column B. Right? In the column B, the column name has a name where some unwanted spaces are available which I want to remove. So I copy this prompt, I go to the chat GPT, I just paste my prompt and hit enter. As soon as I hit enter, you can see ChatGPT has mentioned which formula I can use. It has also give me the way or how I can implement or execute this formula in Excel. So I have to enter a new column. I should apply this formula in another cell that is called column E. Now, why it is providing me column E? Because I have provided the information that I have this many columns available in my data. So it has understand that in column A, column A, I have ID. In column B, I have a name. Column C, I have email. And in column D, I have an address. So by default, it says you should apply this formula in column E. So let me just copy this formula. So you can click on the copy code. I have copied this code from the chat GPT. I move to the Excel sheet. On the cell E2, I just paste that formula. It is taking a correct input of my data. I just hit enter and I copy paste that formula up to entire value and it's done. I'm done with removing all unwanted spaces from my data. The same way, let's say I want to convert my email ID into the lowercase. As you can see, some of the data has a capital input available in the data. Along with that, I also have some extra spaces available in the data. Now, let me give a prompt to the chat GPT. Now, in email column, I have an email ID that I want to convert it into the lowercase. So if you want to remove extra spaces, you can also add that content in this as well. So I just copy and now you can see that I'm just giving a prompt like I'm having the conversation with ChatGPT. So I'm not giving a reference each and every time that I have a such type of data. As I'm giving the prompt a line by line in a single conversation, so ChatGPT take a respective input of all the prompt which we have provided earlier. Hit enter. So now it is giving me a input call. You can use a function called lower. Again, it is giving how to apply. It is explaining the formula as well. So this is the example of the data which it is providing to me. Let me just copy this again. I move to the Excel screen. It is taking correct reference. Hit enter. Let me just. So as I have not used a trim function along with the lower, so the extra spaces are still available, but you can give an extra prompt to that. Now you can see on the row number 17, the example E is capital, but in the output it is on a lower case. So it has converted our value into the lower case. Now in many of the cases, it happens that we have a values available in a single cell. Like I have a pin code and I have a address available in the same cell. Like you have a first name and last name in the same cell and you want to split that. In that case, you need to do the manual work or you can use some complex tools. Let us use a chat GPT to split a pin code and address. So again, I move to the prompt. So I have written a prompt like next in the address column, I want to separate a pin code and address. Some of the values are having unwanted spaces as well. Now I give the example to the chat GPT. What is my expected output? So I have taken a example as a first value of my data. I said I want the output as 1234 in one cell and a address in another cell. Give me an Excel formula. So let me copy this prompt. I move to the chat GPT and paste this. Enter. We start writing the formula. To perform this, we need to use a multiple formulas, which is a nested functions. And as we want our output in two different cells, ChatGPT has provided two different formulas and it has suggested where you should paste this. So let me just copy this. I paste my first function, hit enter, and just let me copy this to all the data. And you can see by just having a flick of eye, the data from address is splitted into the pin code. Now I want to split this address in the another column. So I move to the chat GPT, copy the second formula, In the same row number 2, I paste this and done. So I'm done with a data cleaning process. So it is as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. You just need to give a specific prompt and ChatGPT will give you a correct output. Now, this prompt needs to be provided only once. So you might have a same kind of data on a day-to-day basis. So you can have a formula available with you. You just replace your data or copy this formula to the upcoming data and it will give you the result. You do not require to go each and every time to the chat GPT and take the formulas. Yes, if you get some new issue or a problem, then go to the chat GPT, give the prompt and take the output. Now, let's say we have generated a formula using this chat GPT. Would you like to make it more simpler, more easy and more faster? Let us take a same example and create a VBA code to perform the same task by just click on a single button. So let me again move to my prompt screen. The same activity I want to make a automate. I also do not want to copy the formula and apply in the Excel screen. I just want to click on one button and I want that Excel should perform that task. So for that, I have provided a prompt to the chat GPT that I want a VBA code to clean my data. So further to the same prompt, I said, great. Now I received such data every week and I want to automate this task by VBA macro in Excel. So I'm talking about the same example here as well. Give me a VBA code which help me to clean my data considering data cleaning in column name, remove unwanted spaces and convert it into the proper case. In a column called email, I want to remove all unwanted spaces and I want to convert that data into the lower case. In an address column, I want to split a pin code and address into the separate column. And again, I have provided a one sample to the chat GPT. I also specify that I want my clean data in a new worksheet as a output. So I mentioned provide me output in a new worksheet. So let me just copy this prompt. I move to the chat GPT. I paste this and hit enter. Now ChatGPT will give me a VBA code that is a macro code which can directly be copied and paste to the VBA editor available in the Excel environment. Just wait for a second to complete the code. So ChatGPT is completed with the code. Let me just copy this code. I move to the Excel screen where I have a data. So I go to the developer tab, click on the Visual Basic, which will open a window of VBA editor. So you will see a such window. Even if you are not aware about the VBA, ChatGPT will give you how you should execute this VBA. So by the end of that code, so it has given the explanation that set the worksheet. So the macro start by setting the worksheet that contain your data. By default, ChatGPT is considering the worksheet name as a sheet 1, which you can change with the name of your worksheet. Find the last row. You should that Excel this VBA code will find the last row of your data. It will add a new worksheet as we have mentioned that we want our output in a new worksheet. Now, how to use this VBA? So you can follow this guide. So open an Excel worksheet, click on Alter F11, which will open a VBA editor, which I have opened by using the developer tab. Go to the insert tab and insert the module, which I have performed. You have to just paste that code here. So I'm just pasting that code in this. Let me just check what is the sheet name in my data. So I have an example 1 as my sheet name. So I just replace this one. So if you are not familiar with this code, what you can do, you can provide ChatGPT that my data is available in a worksheet named example one. So you and then the code which you will get in that you will not require to change the worksheet name even. So I just save this. The name of this input is clean data. So I replace it as a clean data underscore new. I go to the sheet. Let me create a button. So I'm inserting a one simple shape and converting it into a view like it seems like a button. So I say clean my data. I'm just formatting this. Let me attach that VBA code with this shape. So right click and assign macro. I just assign the macro which just we have copied from the chat GPT. Now, as soon as I click on this, you can see a new sheet is created. My data is clean. I have five simple columns. I have all the data. You can see no extra spaces are available. All the data are in the lower case. My pin code and addresses are divided into the different columns. And it has also given an appropriate header to this. Now, as much as data I have, how frequently you are getting data from your source, you just need to load your data, click on the button, and Excel will perform your task. Now you can see ChatGPT is something like a baby. You should give a input like how we are explaining the things to a small baby, and ChatGPT will understand this. And another thing which I would like to just notify you that you should always check your output as it is a AI based tool. So it is tend to make a mistake. There can be a multiple reasons that the output which you are providing like do not have a specific output which you are not required. So you should just cross verify the output which you are getting. Now before moving to the further, I would like to take a 2 minute to introduce myself. So I'm Mehul Gandhi. I am a business associate, senior trainer and consultant at State Model. I'm having a 10 plus years of experience in different industries. Along with that, I am a certified trainer by BOSS under the Skill India initiative. I'm also a certified Microsoft Office specialist by Microsoft. During that, I have also achieved a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt certified by BMGI Bombay, and I'm also certified ISO 9001 2015 auditor certified by TUV. During my journey of training and consulting, I have trained more than 5,000 professional students in a various topics like Excel, Advanced Excel, Power BI, SQL for data analytics, Kaizen, 5S, Kanban, etc. I have guided 30 plus improvement projects in the different industries. So this is what my profile is. Now let us move to the another practical example. So let's say you have a one data available with you and you want to convert the data into the graphical format, which is like a dashboard. So this is the sample data which I have. So let's say Mr. A has similar data of a 1 year and he want to convert this data into the graphical interface. And Mr. A is spending almost 5 to 6 hours of time converting such type of data into the graphical interface. Now let us take a help of ChatGPT to create a dashboard based on the data available you have. So this is the output which we are going to have from the data available with us, and ChatGPT is going to give way how we can create such dashboard by taking help of ChatGPT. So I have a sales data available with me where I have a date of transaction, month of transaction, city, the person who has made the sell, product category, color associated with that product, price, quantity, and total sales value. Now, based on this data, I want to create some insights by using the graphical interface. So let me just click on these buttons and then I will show how you can create it with by using the chat GPT. So I have a data. I just click on the create dashboard. By clicking on create dashboard, you can see four different graphs are created. Associated pivot tables are also created on the separate sheets. Now, I want to format these visuals. I want to make it attractive. So let me again go to the main sheet and let me click on the format dashboard. Now my data is formatted. So it is very easy. By click on a button on a single click, you can see I have created four different visuals and just having a single click, all the graphs are formatted. So let's see how we can create such kind of visuals by using ChatGPT. So now to get a very specific result, what I have done, so I have copied some of the records of my data, let's say 10 or 15 records of my data. So ChatGPT can have an idea what kind of data I have. Then I have explained I have a 1 year a data as mentioned above in an Excel worksheet named sales data. I want to create a different visuals in a new worksheet in the same file. So I am providing an input that I want to create a visuals in a new worksheet. Now, what are the different visuals I want to create? One month-wise sales, another city-wise sales. Third is a performance. I want to track the sales representative performance and category-wise sales. I have also provided a detailed input to create that visual. Then I have provided create a separate worksheet called pivot tables and generate a pivot table into that worksheet. I have mentioned keep a two column gap between each pivot tables. So to create a pivot table, keep at least a gap of two columns between each pivot table and create a separate worksheet for visual and place all graph in the same worksheet. Create a VBA macro code for Excel. So let me just copy this entire prompt. Let me go to the chat GPT. I am taking a new chat from this button. I paste entire prompt here and then click enter. So just wait for 10 seconds. Excel chat GPT will create an entire VBA code to create this beautiful dashboard. I feel you all are much excited that tasks you can do with the chat GPT, and I hope that you are getting a valuable insights how you can use chat GPT in which can be integrated in Excel. So chat GPT has created entire code. So let me just copy this code. I go to the VBA environment. I'm taking a new module and paste the code here. Now this macro or this VBA code will only create a visuals. So let's just first create a visual by using this VBA code. I go to the Excel screen. Again, I'm adding a new shape to this. I'm not just managing the formatting right now. I just attach a macro and I'm connecting the visual called create cells analysis underscore 306. Let me just click on the button Now we are getting error, right? So whenever you are creating a VBA code, it might give you error. Purposefully, I have not solved this error before showcasing the VBA code to you. So you can have an idea in the case you are getting such error, how you can solve this. So I have just pasted this error into the ChatGPT as a prompt. So let me again go to the prompt. So this is the error which we are getting by this. So I copy this, I paste this there, enter, and it will give you again a new VBA code to me. So again, I am not copy this code. This is exactly the output which is available in the previous code which I have created by this create dashboard. So now I'm just clicking on the create dashboard and it will create such visuals for us. The same way to format the visuals, what I have done, so I have said now let's format all the graph at once and I have give a prompt to the chat GPT that create a VBA macro for Excel that format all the charts on the worksheet named charts. So right now Excel has created a visuals on a worksheet which has named as a charts. You can change this name and give a specific input here as well. The macro should perform the following actions. So what I want in the formatting, check if worksheet charts exits and show a message if does not exit. Look through each chart on the worksheet and apply the following formatting. Set the chart area background as RGB and I have provided the code of the RGB. So all the inputs by which I want to format my data, I have provided given the instructions. Let me just copy this. So copy again, go to the chat GPT. So it is still creating VBA code for the previous query. Let's just wait to complete this, or I can ask to stop generating the code as we do not want to copy this code. I just paste the code to format the window. So now ChatGPT will create a VBA code by which we can format our visuals. It is generated. You can copy this macro again in the same way. I'm not copy again and again as I already have that macro available in my sheet. Right. So this is the macro which ChatGPT has generated. Now I'm just moving to the Excel sheet. I move to the sheet where I have created a button and let me just click on the formats dashboard. Now if I click again, I will get an error that cells underscore visual sheet is not available because when I have created this macro, the sheet name is cells underscore visuals. So let me just double click over there, rename the sheet with a cells visuals, and then let me just click on the format dashboard. And wow, our dashboard is created. Now I spend, you might think whether writing all this prompt in detail, it is easy that I create all the graphs and format it. But remember, you have to give a prompt only once. Once the macro or VBA code is created, you can use it n number of times up to the time when you have a similar kind of inputs available in your data or the similar output you want from the same data. In a case your input are get changed or a desired output get changed, you should update your code. And this is a one-time activity. Right. So that is the benefit of using a AI tool to integrate with our Excel, and it can give you a very specific output, and it can help you to save your time, to boost your productivity. Let me just quickly explain you. So once the ChatGPT create a VBA macro, you can click on a copy code. Once you copy this code, right, ChatGPT also give you how you should like paste this code uh, to the Excel window as well. So once you copy this, go to the Excel screen. Under the Excel screen, you can go to the developer tab where you can see a visual basic on the left hand side. Either you can click on the Alter plus F11, and which will create or open a window called VBA. You can go to the Insert tab, click on the module, and which will open a blank VBA editor screen where you can just paste your code, whatever code you are uh, copy from the chat GPT. Then I have not copied the correct one. That is why it is showing as a error. It is not a code actually. Then again, go to the screen from where you want to execute that VBA code. Insert any of the object you want, either a photo or a shape or anything. You can format it however you want. Just right click, click on assign macro, and select any of the macro which you want to connect with this shape. Then when you click on this shape, your VBA code will be executed backside of the Excel, and you will get a result. So for example, I have a list of inputs available in my data set where I have order date or invoice date, invoice number, and all the details basically which are required to generate a invoice. I also do have my standard format of invoicing. Now, by using a chat GPT, I can make it like a robot. If you are doing this manually, it may take hours of time of you. For this, again, like we have instructed ChatGPT to create a VBA code. So in the workshop, I'm going to give you a step-by-step input how you can do the same by help of ChatGPT. So I've just pasted some of the information into the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT has provided me with such a input, a VBA code. Now by just clicking on this button, Excel will generate all the visuals, and again it will also create all the PDF of each and every invoices, and it will save it into one specific folder where I have defined this. So right now Excel is generating this. Once it is completed, Excel will give me a pop-up window that invoices are created and stored in the specific location where I have defined. So you can see invoices have been generated and saved in the invoices folder. Let's check either these invoices are created and it is as per our requirement or not. So I just move to the folder where I have created a folder called invoices. I double click. So you can see this invoices are created with the name of customer, invoice number, and date of the you can say the uh, due date. Right. Now you can see the date modified. It is the current time which you can see 30th June 2024 12:11. Let me just open this. So double click and you can see the invoice. All the respective informations are available. It has a neat and clean output which you can directly email to your client. Now, let's say you think that ChatGPT can create a automated invoice or can help us to create an automated invoice. Will you think it will also help you to make it automate that all the invoices are emailed to your client automatically? Would you like to see the demo how you can email these invoices automatically to the respective clients? Great. So let us again jump to the Excel window where you can email such things directly by just having the single click, right? So as right now I do not have a actual email IDs. I have created one demo file which has a email ID available, a subject line available in that, even an attachment to that file. So let me open another file. So for example, I have only kept a one record. Similarly, you can have a multiple records available. So I have prepared a one file. So name of the person to whom you want to email, the email address, right? So the details of your customers or a supplier or a client you may have. So you just need to create a master only once. The file name with extension. So if you want to make some attachment with that, so you can create such column where I have given a instruction that to this person attach a file name called Mehul Gandhi under space invoice. This file is already available in my source and this is the body text. Now I want to email this content to my user. I do not require to open my mail service like Outlook or a Gmail or whatever the service you are using. Create a new mail, type everything or copy paste everything and then click send. Again, open a new email and repeat the task. For that, I instructed ChatGPT to give me a such code. So it has given me a such code available. I copy that, paste it here and connect it with my button. Now, when I click on this button, Excel will go to my service, whatever I am using. It will email and it give me a output called email sent successfully. Let's just verify whether this email is sent or not. So I'm opening my Outlook. Let's just wait for a second and you will see we will receive an email from a same email ID as I have mailed myself to this. So let's just wait a second or a while. Yeah. So you can see the mail is here. You can see the time. I opened the file. That is a test email from this. The invoice like file is also attached with this. The content which I have written as a body text, it is available here, right? And everything is there. So by just one click, you can email 100 of contacts of you and it will save your time. Great.